Hey, what's going on, Vikings fans? It is Skol side back again with another Minnesota Vikings video. As you see, we are waking up on a little Monday morning loss. And as you see by the title, what should the Vikings do with Kirk Cousins? And personally, I think he should be cut today or tomorrow, but he should not play another snap for the Minnesota Vikings. I understand this is a very drastic take. However, it's actually something I really believe in, and I'm going to be laying out my points, and if you disagree, let me know in the comments down below. I just think the best move for the Vikings franchise as a whole and getting to the top and getting to the Super Bowl would be to cut Kirk Cousins right now. And it's a bold move, but it's a move that needs to be made. Anyways, I'm going to be explaining to you guys why I truly believe Kirk Cousins should be cut from the Minnesota Vikings. Let's get right into it. Anyways, Kirk Cousins, the leader of the 1-5 Minnesota Vikings, who have been awful this year. Kirk Cousins has been a turnover machine, and he has been what everybody warned us about coming from Washington. Everybody from Washington, you can name any Redskin fan, they're like, he's not as good as you think. He's just a stat padder. He can win some games, but he's a stat padder. And the game yesterday against the Atlanta Falcons really embodied who Kirk Cousins is as a whole, as a person. You know, he's a 9-year guy out of Michigan State. He's a 32-year-old. He's a 4th rounder, and that's him. Kirk Cousins is just him. Like, he is Kirk Cousins. Like, if that makes any sense, he is not going to get any better, and he's not going to get any worse. He's going to stay who he is. He's inconsistent. He will sometimes have games just like last year in New Orleans where we were all fooled, where I was sitting there thinking like, damn, he's legit. He finally did it. He finally got over that hump. And then you see this year, it's just 5 steps back with him. But it's who he is. He's inconsistent, and he's a stat padder. And if you looked at yesterday, it really embodied who he is. You know, he turned the ball over on the first play of the game, and he was terrible throughout. Missing throws, missing reads, just couldn't avoid any pressure, and he was just awful. And I really don't see what you would want, why you would still want him on the field. Because, yeah, if you look up at the stats at the end of the game, you're probably like, oh, Cousins had a hell of a game. The defense just gave up 40 points. Cousins was the main reason why the defense gives up 40 half the time. When it's 3 and outs, starting off the game with a pick and then back-to-back 3 and outs, putting your defense in terrible field position. They're tired. It's just unfair to them. And I know the defense hasn't been great for the Vikings this year. However, Kirk Cousins is also a big reason because of that. When you give the other team short fields, you turn the ball over. And frankly, I'm just sick of it. And of course, you can look at the stats and see he had 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. You're probably thinking, oh, he probably just turned the ball over, but he still had a good game. Kirk Cousins this year in Green Bay, he put up 24 points. And yesterday, he put up damn near 2 touchdowns and 250 yards just in the 4th quarter. You look at his stats this year, you can be like, yeah, you know what? He's actually turned the ball over, but at least he's putting up numbers. I don't think Cousins has realistically put together more than 4 touchdown drives this year in 6 games, like real touchdown drives. He had 2 last week against Seattle, and that was about it. That's all I can really remember out of Kirk Cousins, and maybe a couple against Houston. But it's just the point of Kirk Cousins is just a stat padder. But now I'm going to get into the salary ramifications and why I think he should be cut. Okay, so Kirk Cousins obviously is a massive deal. He's supposed to make $21 million next year in base salary, fully guaranteed. So even if he's cut, that will still be there. There would be $41 million in dead cap hits. And then if he's cut by June 1st, there would be $31 million in dead cap in 2021 and only $10 in 2022. However, in the 2022, he only gets 10 in dead cap and 10 in dead cap. And if he is not cut by the 3rd day of the league's new year, I guess, the whole 2020 base salary is guaranteed, which is $35 million. So there's $25 million pretty much on the line right here in 2022 if we do not cut him right now. Now listen, I know that's a huge move to make, and I get why would you cut him? That's just a waste of money. Here's the point. He is not going to get any better. And you cannot keep doubling down on something when you know it's wrong. You know, they say the best businesses in the world, when they have a problem, they move off it quick. When they have a bad employer, they have a bad month, they know how to fix it quick. And the Vikings are a business. They're an organization, and they made a bad move. I don't care what you think about Kirk Cousins. You cannot tell me that his contract is a good move. And even the extension is way worse than even the before the contract or just the regular contract. It's time to get off it. He's done. Move on. We'll deal with the problems that come. Because also, with Kirk Cousins, I think the Vikings should try to lose a lot of games this year. There's going to be a lot of teams that want to get one of those 3 quarterbacks coming out of college. And Kirk Cousins, as much as I don't think he's a good quarterback in the NFL right now, he's good enough to win a couple games. And if we could just put in Sean Mannion and see what he has, see if he could be a backup, see if he could play good, and maybe he can mentor a young quarterback because he's been here before. I just think Kirk Cousins should be cut. We know what he is. There's no surprises with him. He's not going to go win a Super Bowl for us. He may be a quarterback on a Super Bowl winning team, but he will not be the reason. The team would have to have an 85 defense, weapons. He needs everything perfect. You go lose a lot of games this year, and you go get a top 5 pick, and you go get a quarterback, because that's where it starts. The Vikings have talent. They just have a bad coach and a bad quarterback. It's time right now. Yes, I know the cap hit would hurt, but you need to realize you have a problem and fix it now and not wait and not have this drag on. It's a toxic relationship, and they need to get out of it. Because frankly, Vikings fans, we know what we have with Kirk. We're 1-5. I get we've had a tough schedule, but we're 1-5, and he has blatantly lost us 2 of those games. And the Seattle game, yeah, I know he played pretty solid down late in the stretch of the game, but he did have 2 back-to-back turnovers. He's not the guy. He's not it. And it's okay to admit I was wrong. I can admit I was wrong about Kirk Cousins. He fooled me after New Orleans. But this is who he is. That is him. What we saw this year. Some days he's good, some days he's bad, but when he's bad, he's really bad, and he'll lose you games. And could you imagine, even if he's ripping off, let's just say he goes 14-2 or something like that next year, are you still even feeling confident in the playoffs? And that's best case scenario, which is not going to happen. I think the Vikings need to eat the cap and just admit they made a mistake, because that's the first, I guess, righting your wrongs. It's just admitting you made a mistake with Kirk, and he should be cut tomorrow. See what you have in Sean Mannion, see what you have in Nate Stanley, see if any of these guys could be a valuable backup or maybe a placeholder for a rookie quarterback in the future. Admit you made a mistake. Be bold for once. Don't hang on to the past, and just make your rights wrongs, or right your wrongs. Anyways, guys, that's what I think with Kirk Cousins. I think he should be cut. I don't think he should play another snap for the Minnesota Vikings. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to disagree with this. However, this is what I would do if I was the Vikings GM. He would be cut tomorrow. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think down below. Sub to the channel. Appreciate all the support. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.